Honorable Maraki, please approach the chair. Any member who has a petition to present may please rise to do so. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Bono. Mr. Speaker, I represent Ikonini Federal Constituency. I come from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, before me, I have a petition signed by my constituents and other 6 other Nigerians on the deprivation of from being captured by IPs as part of the embattled academic staff of University of Calabar employment issue by the previous Vice Chancellor, Professor Zana Akpagwu, and a request for IPs to act in their favor without delay. Mr. Speaker, if I have your permission and by the leave of the House, please allow me to lay this petition, please.
Doctor, the leave is hereby granted. You may now lay a petition. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Chief Mitema Obodo. I speak for Ogbea Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I have with me a petition signed by 3 notable Bayersans, Chairman of Council. The petition is against Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria, Shell Development Company of Nigeria, yes, on the divestment of assets and operations in Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, the content of the petition is very rich, but most importantly, there is a strong perception that Shell Petroleum Development Company's divestment plan will leave a detrimental environmental legacy by neglecting their responsibility to restore the environment to its original condition. The prayers are contained herein the petition, and I hereby most humbly seek for leave to enable me lay this petition. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leave is hereby granted. You may now lay a petition. Yes?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, my name is Ngozi Okolie. I represent Aniocha Oshimili Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, this petition is signed by Comrade Nnamdi Ofonye, National President of Anioma Youth Forum. It's a petition against the gruesome murder of one Mr. David Elue Ndoka by a police sergeant. With your permission, Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay this petition.
Leave is hereby granted. You may now lay a petition. Any other petition from the House? All petitions are hereby referred to House Committee on Public Petitions. Most distinguished colleagues, any member who has a matter of urgent public importance to present to the House may please rise to do so. Is Honorable Aliyu Iliasu Abubakar in the House?
Yes, sir. Sir.
Honorable Iliasu?
Sir.
Okay, please.
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir. My colleagues, I'm Aliyu Iliasu Abubakar, member representing Bathari Sapana Damusa Federal Constituency. I am from Katsina State. Mr. Speaker, sir, I come under relevant House rules to move a motion under matters of urgent public importance in respect of urgent need to stop further killings, kidnappings, shootings in Batsari Safan Damusa Federal Constituency of Katsina State. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much. Any seconder? Ajiro.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My respectable colleagues, my name is Umar Ajilo, member representing the very good people of Mokarfi-Kudan Federal Constituency. I am from the northwestern Nigeria of Kaduna State. I rise to second the urgent matter from my very good friend and brother from Kaduna State, Honorable Aliu Ilyasu Batsari. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The question is, those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion, yes. Former Deputy Speaker with a small d.
The right honorable Speaker, sir, very distinguished colleagues, I remain Engineer Shehu Dalhatu Tafoki, member representing Paskari, Kankara, Sabwa. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Katsina State. I rise to second the second leg of the motion, ably moved by my honorable colleague, Honorable Aliu Ilyasu Abakar. I so second, Mr.
Thank
Speaker.
you. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Ilyasu, you can now move your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My distinguished colleagues, I remain Aliu Ilyasu Abubakar, representing Batsari Safana Damusa Federal Constituency from Katsina State. Sir, the motion is urgent need to stop further killings, kidnappings, shootings in Batsari Safana Damusa Federal Constituency of Katsina State. The House notes that the most recent attack on my people by bandits resulted in the killing of 51 people in Kunamawa, Runka, Zaka, Erlilo, and other towns in Safana local government area. Further notes that 10 people were also killed in Medebina town of Damusa local government area, while 72 people are in the hands of bandits, and that disturbing video was released by the bandits. Further notes that on Sunday, 7th July 2024, 33 people were again kidnapped in Rinka town after shooting 5 innocent people who are receiving treatment in different health centers. Cognizance of the fact that the government of Katsina State is doing its best to curtail these killings and kidnappings through the establishment of Katsina State Community Watch Corps and spending a substantial amount of money on security. Mr. Speaker, sir, the House further notes that the activities of the bandits have already become a grave business and a disturbing hobby in my constituency. There is no day, Mr. Speaker, sir, my colleagues, that a person or persons were not either killed or kidnapped in my constituency. Also notes that over 60% of the farmers could no longer farm on their farmland or trade, which poses danger to food security. Mr. Speaker, sir, the House resolved to call on members to observe a minute silence in honor of the departed souls. Also urge relevant security agencies to do more on protecting lives and properties in Batsari Safana, Damusa Federal Constituency in particular, and the state in general, Katsina. Urge the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to immediately provide relief materials to the affected communities to alleviate their sufferings. And lastly, mandate the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any seconder to this motion? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Nnamdi Zechi is my name, and I represent Ndokwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise here this morning to second the motion ably moved by my dear brother and colleague. I so move. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Before I put the question, I think one or two people want to say something. Honorable Sada Soli.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Sada Soli Jibia, representing Jibia Kaita Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, the constituency of Ali Iliasu is contiguous with my own constituency. Mr. Speaker, the country needs to know what is going on in that area. Every blessed day, some people will be killed or kidnapped. But our concern is the actions and the inactions of the army. Army in particular, our governor has cried foul on this issue. For example, in my local government, Jibia, which is more or less Basari local government, we are the same people, the same family. If there is an attack, if you invite the military, the army in particular, they will not be there. It is an established fact. And from what we are getting is there is some influence on the actions of the military in an effort to contain this banditry in Katsina State. From somewhere, their role is being interfered with respect to giving help to the people of Katsina State. We have so much concern in every part of Katsina State. There is so much concern on the role of the army. They are there, you will find them there, but when you call them, they will not be there. These are things that are baffling us. And this was not the same case 6 months, 7 months with our relationship with the army. And they have a role to play because they are more skillful, they are more armed. So this house, we want this house to prevail on what is going on, what is the relationship with the army and Katsina State government, and even with the extension to Zamfara State. Why do we have to be abandoned by those that have been given the responsibility to protect the innocent lives and property of these people?
Okay, round up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Still on the issue? Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleague, Honorable Bargaja Mohammed, member presenting Isa and Sambin Federal Constituency. Based on what my colleagues have said in connection with the security situation, for killing, kidnapping in Katsina, whatever happening in their constituency, we are all neighboring. Because these bandits are moving from one constituency or from one state to another. They are rotating. If they are in Katsina today, by tomorrow, you will be in Sokoto. Next day, they'll be in Zamfara. So they are moving from one angle to another.
Please check.
For killing and kidnapping of innocent individuals. So, Mr. Speaker, please, we are requesting for more additional security personnel in our areas. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, let's wait for the microphone to come back. All right, let me just put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to
Mr. Speaker.
This motion is referred to House Committee on Humanitarian Affairs and NEMA. NEMA and legislative compliance. The 1 minute silence, we will observe it at the end of all the motions so that we don't stand up so many times, because we are actually managing our time today. We have an engagement at the villa around 2 o'clock, at 3 o'clock. Is Honorable Billy Osawaro in the house?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Kindly move your motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Chief Dr. Billy Famous Adesowa Osawaru. I represent the good people of Orionwo-Onwode Federal Constituency of Edo State, a very proud Benin chief. Mr. Speaker, I have a motion of urgent public importance. This motion is of the urgent need to carry out a legislative forensic investigation into the challenges affecting the downstream and midstream petroleum sectors in Nigeria and other related matters, with a view to finding a lasting solution to all the challenges being experienced in the sectors and repositioning them for efficiency and productivity. Mr. Speaker, I stand on Order 8-5 to enable me move this very important and people-centric motion. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any seconder to this motion? Doctor? Oh, Pastor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and my respected colleagues. My name is Engineer Aderemi Oseni. I represent the good people of Ido Ibarakwa East Federal Constituency. I am from Oyo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to support the motion as ably raised by my respected colleague. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion, any seconder to that? Yes, Madam.
The Right Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues, Marie Enenimiete Ebikake, I rise to second the second leg of the motion. So second.
Thank you, Madam. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Dr. Billy, you may now move your motion, please.
Thank you very much, my able speaker. My honorable colleagues, the House knows that the National Assembly is saddled with the task of making laws for the peace, order, and good governance of the Federation, or any part thereof, as enshrined in Section 4.2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Mr. Speaker, the House further notes Section 88, 1 and 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, empowers the National Assembly to conduct investigations into the activities of any authority executing or administering laws made by the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, the House is aware that
Minority
in
Leader,
recent times, there has been a resurgence of fuel queues in petrol stations with allegations of high cost of PMS and non-availability of fuel stock for downstream domestic refineries in Nigeria and disruption of distribution of PMS products. Mr. Speaker, the House is informed that there is also allegation of unfair subsidization of PMS and other petroleum products, which negatively affects competitiveness in this sector. There are also allegations of racketeering and favoritism in the pro forma invoice system, otherwise known as the PFI regime, indiscriminate issuance of licenses and importation of refined petroleum products. Mr. Speaker, the House is further informed of the alleged return of PMS price intervention with its impact on domestic markets. There is also the allegation of product unavailability to marketers from NFPC retail, endless shifting of timelines for refinery rehabilitation, the nefarious activities of petrol depot, which have affected product distribution and caused scarcity. There is also the use of middlemen in trading and has negatively affected domestic crude supply. Mr. Speaker, the House is disturbed about the indiscriminate issuance of licenses, the unavailability of laboratories to check adulterated products, and the influx of adulterated products into the country. Allegation of non-domestication of profits realized from crude marketing sales in local banks, abuse of the PFI regime, importation of products already being produced in Nigeria, like the jet fuel AGO. Mr. Speaker, the House is also disturbed about the allegation of the return of subsidy on downstream PMS products, unclarity about the exact landing cost of PMS, reduction in retail price, and its impact on downstream operations, allegation of importation of substandard products, and high sulfur diesel into Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, the sale of petroleum products below fair market value and its impact on downstream and local refineries and as the source of funds for such interventions. The House is worried about the failure of the regulators such as the NMDPRA, the NUPRC, etc., to enforce compliance with standards that will help achieve the growth of downstream sector, and the lack of support to local crude refiners, issuance of import license despite local production. Mr. Speaker, the House resolves that 1, to mandate the House committees on petroleum resources, downstream and midstream, to carry out a legislative forensic investigation into the resurgence of fuel queues in petrol stations, allegations of high cost of PMS, unavailability of fuel stock for downstream domestic products, racketeering and favoritism in the PFI regime, indiscriminate issuance of licenses, so on and so forth. And number 2, Mr. Speaker, the House also mandates the House committees on petroleum resources, downstream and midstream, to carry out a legislative forensic investigation into the presence of middlemen in the trading indiscriminate issuance of licenses, unavailability of laboratories to check adulterated products, influx of adulterated products into the country, allegations of non-domestication of profits realized from crude marketing sales in local bank, abuse of PFI regime, etc. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the House also mandates the House Committee on Petroleum Resources, downstream and midstream, to carry out a legislative forensic investigation into the allegation of importation of substandard products and high sulfur diesel into Nigeria, sale of petroleum products below fair market value, and its impact on downstream and local refineries, and as the source of funds for such interventions. Mr. Speaker, the failure of the regulators such as NMDPRA, NUPRC, etc., to enforce compliance with standards the lack of support to local crude refiners, issuance of import licenses despite local production, and report back to this House within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Any seconder to this motion? Honorable Balsongwa.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Ibe Okwara Osongwa, and I represent the very prosperous people of Aruchukwu Ohafia Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm also from the state that has the only performing governor in this federation. I come from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this very noble motion, ably moved by my brother and colleague, Honorable Billy Osawero. I so second.
The question is, those in support of this motion? Is there? Amendment? What is the amendment?
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I remain Honorable Ado Dogwa. Mr. Speaker, I represent the people of Dogwa, Tudunwada Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleagues, my amendment goes as follows. While I support very seriously the issues raised by the mover of the motion, the arguments put forward, and all the references he has made in the content and context of the motions are apt. But I would like to amend that wherever in the content of his motion the name NUPRC appears, be deleted. Because NUPRC has got no business whatsoever with refining, distribution, and sales of white products in the sector. All other agencies he has made reference to are, of course, involved, and I believe they will be in the best position to address these problems. So my amendment is that where the word NUPRC appears in the content of the motion be deleted, because NUPRC deals simply with the production of crude oil, which is an upstream matter. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this is my simple amendment. Thank you.
Honorable Ikenga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Ikenga Imo Ogochinyere. I represent the good people of Idaho North and South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I partly agree with the comment made by the leader, but because there is an issue raised by the mover of the motion, which is non-availability of feedstock to domestic refineries. In dealing with why our domestic refineries does not have feedstock to refine, we have to go up to ask, is NUPRC ensuring that the IOCs and indigenous oil companies are fulfilling their constitutional obligation on domestic crude quota allocation to the refineries? In ascertaining that, you'll be able to know who is at fault, why we will have those 4 refineries that are operating today, whether Aradel, which has a capacity of 11,000, but all it requires is just 3,500 barrels. OPEC, capacity of 10,000, all it requires is 1,750. And Dangote, capacity of 650,000, all it requires is 226,000. So in finding why ordinary 226,000 barrels is not available, you also need to find out, is the IOC sending to us their domestic crude obligation? And the only person that can help us answer that partly is the NUPRC. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for explaining that. The point you're trying to make is that they are all interrelated when it comes to determining. Please turn off your mic, Gochinya, Honorable. That you are engaging with NUPRC is only to the extent of determining, what is happening with availability of feedstock. Okay. Yes, Doctor, you want to say something on that?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Dr. Gali Mustafa Tijani, representing Alabasu, Gaya Ajingiperol constituency, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Mr. Speaker, I rise to make a little contribution regarding to this. NUPRC should not be exonerated on this subject, simply because, according to OPEC, 450,000 barrels is allocated for domestic consumption purposely. Therefore, since it is upstream matter, they have to come forward to explain such quantity allocated to Nigeria for domestic use or for the consumption of downstream. What are they going to do with it, or what are they doing with it? For this reason, it is important for NUPRC to come forward together. However, I will amend that both upstream committee and the upstream committee should be included, simply because NUPRC is being included. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Wow, this is generating a lot of debate. The deputy spokesperson of the House, please. Although you put on your mic even before I recognize you.
I'm sorry, sir.
Is it because you are the spokesperson?
No, not at all, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. Mr. Speaker, my name is Chief Dr. Philip Agbese. I represent the good people of Ado Okpoko Badigo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Benue State, sir. Mr. Speaker, I want to align myself with a motion moved by Honorable Agazal.
Honorable colleagues, please, this emotion that is affecting you and I and our constituents is very important. I urge you, please, to listen. I urge you, please. It's a very important motion. The queues. We have petrol queues on the street now. And this motion wants to address that. People are already queuing up. So let's pay more attention so we can make our contribution and resolve together. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to support the amendment moved by Honorable Agazal Adodogwa that the NUPRC should at the moment be deleted from the motion. This is to give room for the original intention of the motion as moved by Honorable Billy Adesua, so that the committee on downstream and midstream, as clearly stipulated in the motion moved by my honorable colleague, will be mandated as a two-so committee to go into this. But at the course of their investigation, if at any point in time the agencies mentioned now deem it necessary that any other agency should be invited, I think the committees on downstream and midstream will be able to still do that without necessarily further amendment to the motion. I so second.
Thank you very much. I think we have gotten enough debate on this particular proposal by the former leader of the House. Leader, do you want to withdraw the motion, or do you want me to put it to vote?
Mr. Speaker, with due respect, I would like my motion to still fly.
To fly.
Because
okay, I put the question. Those in support. Any seconder to this motion? No, nobody has seconded. Any seconder to the motion? Yes. Manusoro. Okay, you. I've not seen it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you.
Honorable, go ahead.
Dear Mr. Speaker, I'm Tijana Abdulkadir Jobe, representing the Waikin Tofari Mangado from Kano State. I do second the motion as ably moved.
Thank you. That is double seconded because they just brought it to my notice that Don Ambwese seconded the amendment. So those in support of this amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred as prayed. A special joint committee between the midstream and downstream is hereby constituted under the leadership of the committee with the highest jurisdiction, in this case downstream, to lead. Is Honorable Madaki in the house, please?
Mr. Speaker, my highly respected colleagues, my name is Ali Usani Madaki, and I represent the Ala Federal Constituency of Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I want to come under Rule 8.4, matters of urgent public importance. And the matter I want to bring before the attention of this honorable House has to do with the issue of Samoa Agreement that was signed on behalf of Nigerians by the federal government on the 28th of June, 2024. It was alleged that some clauses in the Samoa Protocol involves LGTB, and that has caused a lot of tension and apprehension in every part of the country. So I believe it is important we discuss that. I'm therefore appealing that we suspend the relevant rules so that we may discuss it now. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any seconder to this motion? Yes, behind.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, I'm Barrister Muhammad Bello Shehu. I'm representing the people of Fege Federal Constituency, and I rise this morning to second the first leg of the motion as ably moved by my leader, Honorable Ali Madaki Ngini. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion. The man wearing suit, you raised your hand before. And well, yes. Yes, I want you to second, not you, the one wearing suit. I can't see your face clearly, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Joseph Mwabasi, representing Azano Tishelu Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion as moved by my dear colleagues. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, you can now go ahead with your motion.
Mr. Speaker, my highly respected colleagues, my name is Ali Usani Madaki, and I represent the Ala Federal Constituency of Kano State. The motion reads, alleged controversial Samoa Partnership Agreement by the federal government. The House notes that on June 28, 2024, the federal government signed what is known as the Samoa Agreement with the European Union, EU, to boost food security and inclusive economic development among other vital areas. Concerned that the agreement allegedly has some clauses that compel underdeveloped and developing nations to support lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBT community as condition for getting financial and other support from advanced societies. Also concerned that Article 97 of the alleged agreement, which states no treaty, convention, agreement, or arrangement of any kind between one or more member states of European Union or one or more member states of OACPS members shall impede the implementation of this agreement is seen as supremacy clause and thus violate Nigeria's sovereignty. Worried that other articles, especially Article 2.5, 29.5, 36.2, and Article 88 in the Samoa Agreement that was signed by the federal government may be inimical to the interests of Nigeria as a country and the values of our people as a whole. More so, it does not contain a reservation clause. Aware that Article 2.5 states that all parties systematically promote a gender perspective and ensure that gender equality is mainstream across all countries. also worried that the phrase gender equality, as reported, is a Trojan horse for deceptively bringing in all sorts of immorality to our country, as gender no longer means sexes, male and female, as traditionally understood. It now includes homosexualism, lesbianism, transgenderism, and animalism. Further worried that the signing of such an agreement with the aforementioned clauses, if true, violate our sovereignty and is a clear contravention of Section 12(1) of 99 Constitution as amended. The federal government may have signed the agreement without exhaustive consultation and consideration for possible long-term consequences. Resolve to call on the federal government to suspend the implementation of the Samoa Agreement until all controversial clauses are clearly defined to make sure that they do not violate any law in Nigeria. Mandate the Committee on National Planning and Economic Development, Justice, Treaties, Protocols, and Agreements to interface with the relevant agencies to resolve all gray areas in the agreement and report back to the House within 4 weeks. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I sit down, this motion is sponsored by 88 members. Among them are 5 members of leadership, which includes the minority leader, Honorable Kumo, Honorable Halims, Honorable Ali Jesse, and Honorable Nolin, Honorable Sada Soli, Honorable Abdul Samad Dasuki, Honorable Yusuf Rabiu, Honorable George Ozodunobi, and 80 others. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, a big omission. And Honorable Mukhtar Mohammed Kazaure, who wrote a similar motion, who stepped it down for me.
Yes,
Thank
Honorable
you,
Kazare,
Yes, sir.
actually I commended you this morning because of the way you were able to drop your own motion in preference to your leader's motion. That was very matured. That's a good sign of good legislation. We made our job easier putting them together. Before I ask the question, it needs to be seconded. Before I open it for debate, it needs to be seconded. Honorable Kazori, you want to second it? Okay. Yes, let's go behind. The man with the red cap. No, Bula cap, yes?
Our amiable and all-inclusive speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Daniel Asama. I represent the people of Bassa and Jos North Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Plateau State. I rise this afternoon to second the second leg of this motion as proposed and moved by my distinguished colleague. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to put the question, but before that, I think some people want to have made a contribution. You were raising your hand before, yes? Yeah, before the amendment, you wanted to say something. Yes, please.
Sorry. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, I would like to make a contribution to what just been said by my leader, Alima Daki, with regard to this Samoa agreement. Actually, Mr. Speaker, I'm in center stage of this all what is going on in this house as far as Samoa agreement is concerned. So my position, Mr. Speaker, sir, this Samoa agreement has contravened our values, ethics, and our grand norm. And Mr. Speaker, sir, by allowing this Samoa agreement as is speculated, it will promote ill behaviors, erode our morals, our ethics and our religious standing as a nation, Mr. Speaker, sir. And it equally go further in institutionalizing immorality as a code of conduct in this nation. So I call upon this House to consider this motion of urgent public importance as moved by my leader, Halima Daki, and allows the legislator to do the needful as far as this Samoa agreement is concerned. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Leader of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Professor Julius Ihonvere, Onwa Federal Constituency, and I'm from Edo State. I believe that the public has been misled over time about the Samoa Agreement. Let me not waste the time of this House, but state very clearly, there is no portion of that agreement that talks about LGBTQ or 150 billion. Hold on, let me finish. If you have it, bring it out here and show it. In fact, 3 ministers have come out, including information, budget, and planning, in public to say there was nothing like that in the agreement. Go and Google your media. You will see the agreement, you will see it there. That it was never mentioned, it was never discussed. There is nothing like lesbian rights or gay rights. It is about human rights, environmental protection, and trade agreement, period. How on earth? If you have the agreement, bring it out here. There is nothing like that in that agreement.
This is the beauty of Parliament. People are allowed to be heard. Honorable Alex Ikweche, let me hear you.
Please. Honorable Speaker. Yes, please.
Please turn off your mic. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Alex Mascot Ikweche, and I represent the artisanal people of Aba North and Aba South in this incorruptible assembly. Mr. Speaker, I would like to speak very briefly about some of the contents of this Samoa agreement. Mr. Speaker, this agreement has certain clauses that happens to be in variance with our way of life. We are Africans, we are not Westerners. We have our laws, we have our way of life, we have our way of doing things. And as far as I'm concerned, this issue of human rights, which Nigeria does not in any way violate, should not be implicitly enshrined into this agreement, and members representing the people. This is the people's house. This is the people's parliament. We stand here in my own right. I represent over 1.something million people from Aba. And I have been told that this particular human rights clause happens to be reprehensible, abominable, and we do not intend to stand for it. Do I speak the minds of my people here? So, Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue to do things that do not align or that is... Can you hear me? We cannot continue to engage in contrived way of governance, cosmetic way of running government. Let us focus on the issues that matter. Our people are hungry. Our people are starving. People cannot buy food. There is insecurity. There is no light in the country. Industries are not growing. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Why are we here talking about LGBT, GTBT, whatever? Let us concentrate on the issues that matter. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Speaker, our people are not interested in this. So let us step it down. Let us close it. Let us forget everything about it. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, please. Mr. Speaker, please.
I don't understand what this microphone is doing. I just don't understand this. Why can't we have a straight section of microphone?
Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this side, please. Mr. Speaker, this side.
Why can't they solve this? Why can't they solve this problem once and for all?
This side, please, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this side, please.
Speaker, sir. Okay, I know.
Honorable colleagues, most of you have even spoken without saying a word. The Parliament has spoken without even speaking a word. The body language of the Parliament is in support of this motion. So instead of us, let us have the minority leader of the House say something, and then we have one or two amendments, and we put it to vote. Please. Still on the same issue. Let the minority speak. Majority have spoken. Let minority speak. Please.
Thank you, Mr.
The majority
Speaker.
have spoken. Let minority say something. We'll come back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, my dear colleagues, for yielding the floor to me. My name is Kingsley Chinda. I represent Toby Abo Federal Constituency. I'm an inquiry man from Rivers State. It's investigative. Because it's an investigative motion, I will even caution that we should not be judgmental in our argument. But clearly, where the federal government is going into an agreement, by the provisions of Section 12 of the Constitution, the Parliament ought to be carried along. And if the Parliament had been carried along, these arguments, even from our people that we speak for, would not have been there, because Nigerians would have been better informed. The problem is that of lack of information. And as a Parliament, all we are saying is that we want to be satisfied that what the executive has told Nigerians is actually the true position of the facts. That's all we're asking for. At this stage, we are not condemning or accepting whether LGBT is in the contract or not. But we want to know, we want to confirm, and we want to affirm. So I would therefore pray that at this stage, we all support the motion and allow this investigation to go on. When we get the report of the investigation, we can then carry out a full debate on the outcome. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Let's hear the amendment from Doctor, and that will be the last, please, because the motion is clear and straight to the point.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Dr. Gali Mustafa Tijani, representing Alabasu Gajin Kiperon constituency, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have amendment and a reply to the House Leader. The first amendment, Mr. Speaker, is the need for Nigerian government to unsign and withdraw from the unpopular Samoa Agreement, and the need for the government to refrain from engaging in any such treaties that contravene the people's culture, religion, and unethical morals. One. And Mr. Speaker, agreement, this is the amendment. Mr. Speaker, agreement upon agreement has been signed by Nigeria in order to improve the Nigerian economy. But Mr. Speaker, everybody knows that instead for the economy to progress, it's now retrogressing like a wildfire. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, we urge and we tell everybody, no matter how much money Nigeria is going to get from this thing, the handlers of the current economy could not fix the economy. Therefore, this should be rejected in totality. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. So, your amendment, the amendment we didn't, it's not an amendment. So, I will just ask Chief Whip finally say something, then we'll put the question.
No amendment.
I am Honorable Usman Bello Kumo. I represent Akko Federal Constituency from Gombe State. Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, let me speak for and in support of the motion raised by Honorable Ali Madaki. In a world where its covenants proclaim black inferiority, in a world where, despite evidence to the contrary, but insist that black Africa is synonymous to poverty, misery, and other social evils, it is from this world that every right-thinking Nigerian should raise to vehemently resist, object, and reject anything that will bring about interfering and working against our religion and our moral values. So, I would be very glad and happy that what the executives are claiming and they are saying, I pray God Almighty to make it true. If it is, we are home and dry. If it is not, we are calling on everybody involved that this agreement should not only be withdrawn, but an apology should be given to the entire Nigerians. This is my position, and I so submit. Thank you very much.
Let me put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye.
Amendment.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. There was no amendment. This motion is referred to Committee on National Planning and Economic Development, Committee on Justice, Treaties, Protocols, and Agreements, as well as Legislative Compliance. Honorable colleagues, there's an announcement. There's an announcement. Honorable colleagues, if Honorable Ele Odemo Uchenna Clement Nwachukwu, if he's in the house, please approach the clerk urgently. Honorable Ele Odemo Uchenna Clement Nwachukwu, please. Chief Whip. Chief Whip. Please, if Honorable Ledimo Uchenna Clement Wachuku is in the house, kindly see the clerk. Honorable colleagues, we have Student Representative Council, the Senate, from the Student Union Government University of Port Harcourt. They are in the house. If they are up there in the gallery, can you stand up for recognition? Members of Student Union, Port Harcourt. They are not there. No. Bring it later. Bring it later. Honorable colleagues, we have a very important engagement this afternoon by 2 o'clock. And so we are going to be managing our time well so that we can leave here at least that 2 o'clock. So please, we would like you to support the speed with which we are going to use, because we have a very important engagement with Mr. President, and we will not keep Mr. President waiting. So please, let's handle some of the issues with the speed of light. Is Honorable Kuye in the house? Please move your motion. And remember, you have to suspend our rules to have this one.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respected colleagues, my name remains Ademorin Aliu Kuye. I speak for the industrious, beautiful, and hardworking people of Shomolu Federal Constituency. I am from Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I have a motion of urgent public importance to move, and I pray that this motion be considered as urgent by the House. And under Order 8 Rule 5, I move that we suspend the extant rule to allow same to be moved as urgent. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Support it with the black card, yes. If you can second.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished colleagues, Basi Akwa is my name. I speak for Kalawa Municipality, Odukban Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm a proud Crossbearian. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to support the first leg of the motion as moved by my brother and senior colleague.
It's not the first leg, it's to suspend so that he can have it as an urgent public importance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise this afternoon to move that we suspend our rules to enable us to take a motion from
Thank you.
a brother and a colleague. Thank you. I so move.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Kuye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, once again. Respected colleagues, this is a motion on the urgent need to address the refusal of state governments to uphold democratic principles in our local government and the financial impropriety of unelected local government officials. Aware that Section 7 of the Constitution guarantees the
Honorable
system.
Kuye, you just suspended. You propose
All right, sir.
we allow 8-5 take its place, and then you go ahead. So let's have the first leg and the second leg seconded, and then we'll go ahead. Because what the suspension did was to give you opportunity to present, to know whether it is urgent enough and urgent to be heard now. So
Yes, I moved the two together.
you moved the two together?
Yes, I moved it together.
Okay, I would like you to be seconded, please. Sit down, please. Honorable Kelechi, we'll go second, the first leg.
The right, the Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Kelechi Nwogu. I'm from Rivers State, the treasure base of the nation. I represent the people of Echie Omoma constituency. I rise to second this second leg of the motion. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion, Honorable Zana. Please, second. Honorable Zana.
Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, I'm Honorable Zanna Usman, representing the good people of Kagagu, Bioma, Gumeri Federal Constituency. I rise to second the second leg of the motion. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Please, could we make it as brief as possible? We are managing our time, please.
I'll try, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a motion on the urgent need to address the refusal of states' government to uphold democratic principle in our local governments and the financial impropriety of unelected local government officials. Aware that Section 7 of the Constitution guarantees a system of local government run by democratically elected officials and prescribed that state government should ensure their existence. Aware also that by virtue of Section 8 of the Constitution, as amended, mandates the State House of Assembly to make laws for the establishment, tenure, structure, composition, finance, and functions of the local council, as stipulated by the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, I will move to paragraph 5, which says, worried that increasing number of states acting with so much impunity and constitutional disregard has about 21 states now are currently running council with caretaker committees, which is strange to our constitution. Dismayed that this impunity and constitutional disregard is a deliberate effort to upstage democracy, shrink development potentials of our local council, and enshrine lack of accountability and limit transparency in our local government and the state. My prayers, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, is that the House mandate the House Committee on Finance, Revenue Mobilization, Committee on Finance, House Committee on Local Government and States, and Revenue Allocation Committee to withhold local government allocations for local government run by officials not elected democratically. In the alternative, direct RAMFAC to create a special account into which such monies will be paid, mandate the Office of the Attorney General to institute legal action against any state that terminates the unexpired tenure of local government administration and direct RAMFAC to withhold allocation due to such local government. Mandate the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance of same. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I really like the way you abridged your motion and went straight to the prayer. In view of the time that we are trying to manage, others who are going to speak, please let us follow that trajectory so that we can achieve more today. Any seconder to this motion? Honorable Maki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I'm Abubakar Maki Eleman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Malamuro Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my senior colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Markey. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Finance, Committee on Local Government and States, Committee on Revenue Allocation, and Committee on Justice. Is Honorable Omar Dati Kura here? Honorable Omar Dati is not here. Honorable Bamidele Salam, please. This your motion is very long. Make it very short, please. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move a motion for the House to suspend relevant rules to allow me to move this motion on public importance on the need for the federal government to devise a means to support teaching hospitals, medical centers, and universities with alternate power source to prevent loss of lives and disruptions in their services. Mr. Speaker, I so move, sir.
It's under this. So I rules of business. So I don't get them. Make your life is a kind of. But they my Yuba. But they Yuba. Atuna is committed to. Man, like I said, the same content and context.
Yes, Bamidele, you have moved, right?
Mr. Speaker, I just moved the motion asking for the leave of the House to move the motion properly.
Yes. Second that, please. Amo Bioga, please, can you second, please? Amo Bioga, second. Both of you are from the southwest. Let another person second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, my name remains Honorable Amobi Godwin Oga. I represent Nigeria through the good people of Isukwato and Umunochi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm Uturuman from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, ably moved by my leader and my brother and colleagues. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion. Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, Engineer Idu Emeka G is my name. I represent Onitsha North and Onitsha South Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State. I rise to second the second leg of the motion, ably moved by my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Please move your motion, like I said, please, it's related to infrastructure. Just one or two paragraphs and then the prayer, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House notes that on the 3rd of
Chief
April,
Whip, control the House. Chief Whip.
2024,
Chief Whip, control the House.
the National Electricity Regulatory Commission commenced the implementation of the new electricity tariff for Band A customers.
which raised the payment to 225 naira per kilowatt of electricity. The House notes that teaching hospitals, medical centers, and universities are all on the band A due to the peculiar need to constantly supply power to power medical equipment and other critical services. The House notes that the Ahmadu Bello University Hospital Zaria now pays 75 million naira every month. Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital pays 119 million naira per month. Tafawa Balewa University pays 50 million naira per month, while the University of Ibadan, as we speak, has an indebtedness of 495 million naira per month as electricity bill. Worried that if there is no urgent intervention to support the teaching hospitals and universities with alternate power supply, such as mini grids and solar power, their services may be abruptly brought to an end, thus endangering lives of patients and other services that they are rendering to Nigerians. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the House resolved to urge the federal government to urgently devise means to support teaching hospitals, medical centers, and universities with mini solar grids in view of the huge and unaffordable electricity bills
find a place and sit down.
occasioned by the new
Sit
electricity
down,
tariff.
please. Honorable Nkwanta, find a place and sit down. Honorable Kuye, sit down, please.
And two, to mandate the Committee on Health Institutions, Rural Ratification Agency, and Power to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Any seconder to this motion? All the way at the back. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Respected members of the House, my name is Honorable Abdul Hakim.
Honorable Agwacha, not you. Go ahead.
Camilo Adro, representing Garuka Widil Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kano State. I stand to second the motion as moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
It's a straightforward motion. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is referred to Committee on Health Institution, Rural Electricity Agency, and Power. And I want to thank you, Honorable Salam, for making it very brief as well. The last matter of urgent public importance today is to be taken by Honorable Samuel Adedayo. Honorable Samuel Adedayo, are you in the House? Please make it brief. Your motion is too long. Let's just have it one or two paragraphs and the prayers, please, because of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu. My colleagues, I ask for the indulgence of the House to suspend our extant rules in order for me to move a motion on a matter of urgent public importance on the need to rejig local vaccine production in Nigeria. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my colleague.
Thank you. Any seconder to do is first leg of this motion. Honorable Nkwanta, please.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Chris Nkwanta, and I represent the good people of Okwa East and West Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to support the motion that we suspend the extant law and allow him to proceed with the motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion, please. Any seconder to that? The second leg of the motion.
Speaker, you were well represented.
Okay.
The speech went very well. They said it was your motion.
I couldn't come because I was. Okay. House services. Please ensure that what we're experiencing with this microphone is given a final solution by this week. We will not the contractor that did this job. We should be able to speak to each other using the microphone, please. House services, take note. The second leg of the motion, yes, Omogo.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, and my awesome, great colleagues. I salute you. My name is Honorable High Chief Kenneth Moore Chukwugozie Nwachukwu. I am from Imo State, Nigeria, and I represent the great and awesome people of Olo, Osun, and Oru East Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Doctor, please move your motion. Like I said, 2 minutes, please.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name remains Dr. Adeshola Adedayo. I represent the good people of Apapa. I am from Lagos State. My motion is on the need to rejig local vaccine production in Nigeria. Nigeria population has grown from 37 million to almost 30 million between 1950 and 2024. We all know that the population with population increase in population, it is easy for diseases to spread. We also note that Nigeria used to produce vaccine from Yaba actively between 1940 to 1999. The laboratory supplied vaccines against smallpox, rabies, and yellow fever. Hello? The next one. It's not working. Try another one.
This one is not working either. That one is talk.
Hello?
Very frustrating.
Hello.
Hello? Right Honorable Speaker, I was saying that Nigerian population had increased from 37 million to almost 230 million between 1950 and 2024. We all know how easy it is with increasing population for diseases to spread. There used to be a vaccine laboratory in Yaba in Lagos State that was operative between 1940 to 1999. But that laboratory used to produce vaccines against smallpox.
Please, Honorable, go to your prayers. Please go to your prayers.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My prayers are that the House resolves to mandate the House Committees on Health Institutions and Healthcare Services to invite all relevant agencies to unravel the reasons why the Yaba Vaccine Production Laboratory has remained closed till now, why the BioVaccine Limited has not commenced production till today, and the status of all funds hitherto allocated to vaccine production in Nigeria. 2, urge the Federal Ministry of Health to pursue the goal of turning Nigeria into the hub of African vaccine manufacturing with every commitment it deserves. And finally, that the House committees assigned to report back within 4 legislative weeks. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Any seconder to this motion? Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Hussaini Mohammed Jallo, representing Ikebe Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. I hereby second the motion heavily moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion is referred to Health Institution and Health Services of the House. Committee on Health Institution and Health Services.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Did I hear point of order? Put on your microphone. I didn't hear you.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
What is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Chief Dr. Philip Agbese is my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent the good people of Ado Okpoko Ogbadigbo Federal Constituency. I'm also from Benue State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my point of order is under 6 Rule 2, privileges. Mr. Speaker, it is true that on the 25th
Order 6.
Order 6, Rule 2, Mr. Speaker.
On privilege.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, it is true that I was voted on the 25th of February 2023 by my people. Mr. Speaker, it is also true that I was inaugurated into this House on the 13th of June 2023 by the leadership of this House. Mr. Speaker, to that end, it is also true that I am a member of this House, ranking a new member as the House rule may state. Mr. Speaker, sir, sometime last week, I was returning from an international parliamentary assignment back to the country when I was confronted by a parliamentarian from Ghana. At the airport in Accra, at the course of our discussion, I was confronted with a question emanating from the conduct or the position of one of my colleagues in this House last week, that new members of this parliament are not allowed to speak. Mr. Speaker, while that was taking place, my beloved daughter Emanuela Okanwani Agbesi also called me from the United Kingdom to tell me that new members of this parliament, that is those who were just elected and just came into this parliament at the same time that I came, are not allowed to contribute or speak on the floor of this House. Still emanating from the comments made by one of my colleagues in this House. Mr. Speaker, while that was going on, my constituents equally threatened on Facebook and other platforms, regretting that they sent a new member to the House. Mr. Speaker, sir, there have never been any time that anyone
under the banner of new member was not allowed to speak on the floor of this house, and not myself, Honorable Philip Agbese. Mr. Speaker, that comment by my colleague has injured my reputation as a member of this house. Mr. Speaker, I stand this morning that my privilege as a member of this house was breached, and I want to move that a member who made those comments be made to tender an all-reserved apology to Honorable Chief Dr. Philip Agbese and some of my colleagues who feel that they do not belong to that category. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yeah, like we always say, the issue of privilege is not debated. The issue you raised about a generalized comment made by one of our colleagues here who happen to be a new member, stating that new members were not allowed to speak. I think it went viral. So if they told you in Ghana when you were on your way back, it was because this is a global community. By internet, they can reach you anywhere you are. Information travel very fast. It is also your right to say you are a new member and nobody has shortchanged you. Nobody has stopped you from speaking in this parliament. I know also that the leadership of this house have tried severally to carry the new members along in all things. And like I said last week, there is no discrimination in this parliament. There is no dichotomy between old and new members. We are all colleagues. The gentleman, the honorable colleague that is involved, has privately tendered apology to me, and I am sure so any member who felt aggrieved that he will find time to meet you and apologize to you. We have gone past this. Let us not drag it again. It's a process of learning for new members. We'll keep encouraging them and protecting them to feel comfortable whenever they have an issue to raise. And again, let me maintain, nobody will deny new members their right to be heard in this parliament. Your point of order is hereby sustained. There's 1 minute silence that was proposed by the urgent public importance, and we say we will take it at the end of the motion on urgent public importance. May we rise now to do so? May the soul of the departed rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
Announcement. Notice of meeting. There will be a meeting of minority parties leaders at 3 p.m. at room 4.17, Minority Leadership Office. And the leaders are as follows. NNPP Honorable Abdul Kadiri Jobe, YPP Honorable Emmanuel Okpong Odo, SDP Honorable Gaza Gwefi, ADC Honorable Leke Abajide, ABGA Honorable Pascal Abodike, LP Honorable Ogene Afam, PDP Honorable Mutu Nicholas, signed by Minority Leader Honorable O.K. Chinda. Yes, what is your point of order, please?
Privilege, Order 6, Rule 2, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my name is Honorable Gali Mustafa Tijani Al-Basu Gaya Jingipero constituency, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to send a correction, particularly to you. I want this impression that you are giving most of the time when this matter of new members, old members comes on table, to put it in such a way that everybody will feel among. Most of the time when you are trying to close a statement, you say that new members are learning. Does that mean old members are not learning? So at least, Mr. Speaker, it is important whenever you come. If we are learning together. I believe there is even new members here that are more learned than even the old members. Even now, when you are trying to make this correction, you make the same statement. Please, and this is your tradition, since we are into the 10th Assembly. Please, whenever you are talking of new members learning, or you are learning, yes, we agree, but put it together that everybody is learning. Nobody is above to learn. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We don't debate privilege. The parliament, everybody is learning, but there are people who are more experienced. If you go to the law court, you have the SAN, the Senior Advocates of Nigeria. There's a reason why they are given the first rule. And there's a reason why they are asked to speak first before other lawyers. Even if you come to court before them, the senior advocates will be given the opportunity to address the court first before you. In Parliament as well, they will try to neutralize it that we are all colleagues. We respect people who have been here longer than us. You can't have people like Adodogua, who has been here in 1992, and you equate his experience with somebody who just joined the parliament. That is not possible. There must be something that he knows better than those who are coming on board. And if you go to the US Parliament, there is a role for those who just joined the parliament to work with those who have been in the parliament for a long time so that they will understudy them. It's parliamentary practice. It is not something that denigrates the new members. It's a process of learning. It's an institution. And it is important that we all follow the culture and the tradition of the institution, where the experienced members are given opportunity to pass knowledge across to those who are coming. It's not book knowledge. It's parliamentary practice, and it's over time that you imbibe it. 1 year is not enough to know it. Over time, you begin to learn it and know it and pass it to those who will follow you tomorrow, because it is our desire that all the new members will come back to this house. And when you come back, you become ranking members. And the new members, you follow the same trajectory and teach them. That is how Parliament works. Thank you very much. Most distinguished colleagues, the first business of the day is presentation of 12 bills. And I invite the clerk to read the short titles of these bills.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Mashi, Katsina State Establishment Bill 2024, first reading. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA Act Amendment Bill 2024, first reading. Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board Act Amendment Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Act Amendment Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Federal University of Health Sciences and Technology, Kankia, Katsina State Establishment Bill 2024, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Alteration Bill 2024, first reading. Central Bank of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2024, first reading.
Thank you very much, Clerk. Most distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is presentation of reports of the Committee on Shipping Services and Related Matters. on a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Shippers Council Act, Cap N133, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact Nigerian Shipping and Port Economic Regulatory Agency and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Abdul Samad Dasuki. Honorable members will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Wednesday, 14 February 2024. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Dasuki is invited to present the report. Honorable Dasuki, please.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, remain Abdul Samad Dasuki. I rise to report that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Shipping Services and related matters on a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Shippers Council Act, Cap N133, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact Nigerian Shipping and Port Economic Regulatory Agency and for related matters, HB 1038. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Any seconder to this motion? Maybe a member from the committee? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear honorable colleagues. Mohammed Omar Biya is my name. I speak for the people of Barutina and Kayama Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the bill, that the report submitted by Honorable Dasuki Abdul Samad be submitted. I so moved.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Dasuki, please lay the report. Honorable colleagues, the first order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to establish Nigerian Correctional Services Trust Fund and provide a legal framework for the management and control of the trust fund and for related matters. Standing in the name of the House Leader, honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Thursday, 6 June 2024. I therefore call the Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read the third time. Leader, please. And honorable colleagues, we will be shutting down once we get to 2 o'clock. Wherever we stop, that is where we'll end for today. Other ones will roll over to tomorrow so that we don't keep Mr. President waiting for the engagement we have with him. I pray that you understand.
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Ihonvere, ONDSSRS.
Leader, you take 1 to 4 because all of them are third reading, so that we'll speed it up.
One, I rise to move that the following bills be presented before the House. A bill for an act to establish Nigeria Correctional Service Trust Fund and provide a legal framework for the management and control of the trust fund and for related matters, HB 686. Two, a bill for an act to establish the North Central Development Commission, charged with the responsibility, among other things, to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effects of the communal crisis, as well as tackle the ecological problems and any other related environmental or developmental challenges in the North Central states and for related matters, HB 121, and a bill for an act to establish the Southwest Development Commission, charged with the responsibility, among others, to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account, including donations and gifts for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of infrastructural damages suffered by the region, and to tackle ecological, environmental, and other developmental challenges in the region, and for related matters, HB 283, and finally, a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act to establish the Federal Medical Center, Sabogida, Edo State, to provide primary and tertiary healthcare services in all their ramifications and for related matters, HB 478. This I present for third reading. I so move.
Thank you very much. Deputy Leader of the House, can you second this motion? Deputy Leader of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. Abdullah Ibrahim Halims is my name. I am from Kogi State. I represent the wonderful people of Ankpa, Omala, Lamboro, Federal Constituency. I rise to support that all the bills be read third time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those in support of this motion moved by leader and seconded by deputy leader say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. I now invite the clerk to read the long title of the bills. Clerk, please.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to establish Nigeria Correctional Service Trust Fund and provide a legal framework for the management and control of the trust fund and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to establish the North Central Development Commission charged with the responsibility, among other things, to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effect of communal crisis, as well as tackle the ecological problems and any other related environmental and development challenges in the North Central states and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to establish the Southwest Development Commission charged with the responsibility, among others, to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account, including donations and gifts, for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of infrastructural damages suffered by the region, and to tackle ecological, environmental, and other developmental challenges in the region and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act to establish the Federal Medical Center, Sabongida Ora, Edo State, and to provide primary to tertiary healthcare services in all their ramifications and for related matters. Third reading.
Thank you. Be 1 to 4, read and pass. The fifth order of the day is the commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to provide for the rights of Nigerian citizens living outside Nigeria to vote in certain elections conducted in Nigeria and for related matter. This is standing in the name of Honorable Tajuddin Abbas and Honorable Sadiq Ango Abdullahi. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time Thursday, 6 July 2023, and I invite Honorable Sadiq Ango Abdullahi to move that the bill be now read the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Honorable Sadiq Ango Abdullahi, member representing Sabangari Federal Constituency. I'm from Kaduna State. A bill for an act to provide for the rights of Nigerian citizens living outside Nigeria to vote in certain elections conducted in Nigeria for related matters. HB 22, standing in the name of Honorable Tajuddin Abbas and myself.
Thank you. Any seconder to this motion? Yes, beside him, yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I'm Hussein Mohammed Jallo, Igebe Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. I hereby second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Please lead your debate. Make it very brief, it's straightforward.
Mr. Speaker, because of time, I would like to say that this bill will benefit all Nigerians, most especially the ones living outside this country. In general, it will save a lot of Nigerians the rigors and logistic challenges of traveling to Nigeria to exercise their voting rights, among other things. It is therefore that I urge this House to consider this bill to be read for the second time. I so submit.
Thank you very much. Straightforward, the Speaker's bill, and the question is that bill be read the second time. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This bill is referred to Committee on Electoral Matters. Yes, please. Clerk, give us the second reading of the bill, please. Sorry. Give us the long title of the bill, please.
The Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide for the rights of Nigerian citizens living outside Nigeria to vote in certain elections conducted in Nigeria and for related matters, second reading.
The bill is referred to Committee on Electoral Matters. The sixth order of the day is the commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Public Procurement Act, Cap P44, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for damage against a contractor on issues relating to undue delay in completion of contracts and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Tajuddin Abbas and Honorable Marcus Onobun. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time Thursday, 6/2023. I now invite Honorable Onobun to move that the bill be now read the second time. Honorable Onobun, are you in the House? Honorable, yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Marcus Onobun is my name. I represent the resplendent people of Esan West, Esan Central, and Igweben Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I rise this morning to take the bill for an act to amend the Procurement Act, Cap 144, Law of the Federation of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004, to provide for damage against contractor on issue relating to undue delay in completion of contracts and related matters, HB 03, in the name of Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
Thank you very much. Any seconder to this motion for this to be yes, communicator?
Mr. Speaker, Your Excellency, I am Honorable Kalejaya Deboye Paul, PhD. I stand to second that noble motion moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, you can move your motion, lead your debate, please. Make it very brief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill seeks to protect the procuring entity in order for the procurement process in the country to be guided, as well as making sure that all properties that are being procured, that the contractors meet to the expected time. Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to amend Section 37 of the Procurement Act. Section 37 says, 1, payment for the procurement of goods, works, and services shall be settled promptly and diligently. 2, any payment due to more than 60 days from the date of the submission of the invoice, valuation certificate, and confirmation of authentication by the ministry and extra-ministerial office by the government agency and parastatal, or shall deem delayed payment. All of this, Mr. Speaker, seem to protect the contractor. This bill seems to protect the interest of government. So what the bills talked about is that there should be 37A, notwithstanding any provision of the contract agreement,
where a contractor fails to deliver a contract within the targeted period without express permission or with express permission from the relevant authority, the contractor shall be entitled a grace of 90 days. And where the contractor fails to meet up with the demands, the contractor shall be liable to pay damages not exceeding 5% of the total contract sum. Mr. Speaker, the purpose of this new provision is to reduce corruption, contract abandonment, waste of resources, and generally to forestall a situation where contractors treat government contracts with levity and disdain and to the detriment of the society. Honorable colleagues, while it is noted that our procurement challenges are enormous, the passage of this bill is one step in reducing the challenges that we face in the country. I urge you colleagues to please support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it's a straightforward bill, and I will just put the question. Those in support of this bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, read the long title of the bill.
The Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Public Procurement Act, Cap P44, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for damage against the contractor on issues relating to undue delay in completion of contract and for related matters. Second reading.
This bill is referred to Committee on Public Procurement. Honorable colleagues, the seventh order of the day is the commencement of a debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Benjamin Okezie Carlo. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 8 May 2024. And now I invite Honorable Ghana to move that the bill be now read the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Joshua Audu Ghana, member representing Lavun Mokwa, Edati Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Niger State. I rise to move that a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for related matters, HB 1349, be read for a second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any seconder to that? Honorable Chike.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Very distinguished colleagues, I remain Honorable Chike John Okafor, PhD. I rise to second the motion ably moved that this bill be read a second time. Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may now move the lead debate, please. Make it very brief.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, to provide for seats, reservations for women in the national and state houses of assembly and other related matters. I stand before this esteemed house today to lead this debate on a pivotal constitutional alteration bill that is aimed at addressing a profound imbalance in our legislative houses and the underrepresentation of women in legislative houses at the national and subnational levels. Because of our time, Mr. Speaker, at this point in our nation, the principles of fairness and inclusivity cannot be overemphasized. Globally, Nigeria lags behind in women representation in parliament, among the lowest countries who have implemented this affirmative action. And we can see that in the countries of Rwanda, Andorra, and Kenya. And so, Mr. Speaker, I remember that many of the political parties, both the majority and minority parties, promised their constituents and electorates that not less than 35% of women will be involved in government. And this bill seeks, in fulfillment of that promise, to bring into parliament seats where that will be statutory for women, and so we'll have inclusivity and balance in our parliament. Honorable members, as we deliberate on this bill, let us recognize the historic opportunity before us to rectify decades of gender underrepresentation in our legislative houses. This alteration is not just about equity, but it's about harnessing the full potential of our nation by leveraging on the dispersed perspectives and talents of Nigerians, irrespective of gender. Let us rise above partisan divides and unite in support of this transformative alteration, which promises to empower women and strengthen the fabric of our nation. I urge you to lend your wholehearted support to the passage of this historic bill. Together, let us reaffirm our commitment to gender equality and lay the foundation for a future where every Nigerian, regardless of gender, has equal stake in shaping our nation's destiny. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. You want to add something to that? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Fatima Talba. I'm representing the good people of Nengi Rapotiskum from Yobe State. I rise not only to second this motion, but also to appeal to our men to see reasons why this bill should be accorded the necessary attention it deserves. I want to say that we all appreciate the fact that women constitute more than 65% of the total population, and most of our votes normally come from women. So I'm appealing, I'm not only supporting the bill, but I'm also appealing that you also should please help us and make this bill see the light of the day. Please do not kill it, because if you do, one day your own female child will also have the same setback. So I'm appealing that you please give this bill the necessary attention it deserves, because it's important. It's not taking your seat. We are just trying to see that we supplement your efforts. You are only giving us special seats. We are not taking your seats, the one that you are occupying. After all, that seat, you may not be there one day. It's somebody else that will be there. So please, give us the necessary attention and give us this support. I have said it earlier than this time that I don't know why you are too friendly in the afternoon. You are not too friendly in the afternoons to us women. Please, I'm appealing that this bill should see the light of the day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
I think this should be open for contribution. And let's have one or two people speak about it, and then architects.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Architect Ibrahim Al-Mustafa Aliyu, member representing Wurunaraba Federal Constituency from Sokoto State. First and foremost, I'd like to commend the sponsor of this motion, that Honorable Benjamin Ezekiel Kalu, a male leader who decided to champion the cause of women in Nigeria. I also want to urge our honorable colleagues to lend their support on this bill so that women can be given a sense of belonging in the affairs of our beloved nation, Nigeria. The only maybe key issues I want to highlight is on the key amendments from the paper number C. Consequential amendment to section 71, 77, and 117 to ultimately establish special constituencies reserved exclusively for women. This is a necessity that we have to focus, because there should be additional constituencies, name it whatever, because the 360 constituencies are already delineated and are fully manned, and I believe even those 360 constituencies are open to women to also participate and be elected into the National Assembly. This should be an addition so that women can have a voice in the affairs of this beloved country. I so support the bill to be given the second reading. I lend my voice. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues.
Thank you very much. Doctor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Doctor, you can speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Dr. Midala Usman Balami. I represent the good and dynamic people of Askira Uba Hawul Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon in order to second and also support this motion, this bill, that an act to alter the provisions of 1999 to provide for seat reservation for women in the National and State Assembly. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, it is cardinal that we understand and also highlight the importance of participation of women in democracy. Women constitute a very solid foundation for every home. We said charity begins at home, and if we want to succeed and also develop as a country, there is need for us to consider that this bill is not only critical, but the bill is not only critical, but it's timely. But he said I should wait. He said I should wait.
Okay, doctor, go ahead. I think it's on now.
Thank you. Hello? Campaign voice. Okay, thank you, sir.
You can't use his campaign voice. It's being recorded.
I want to say that this bill is not only timely, but it's also critical for Nigeria to understand that the participation of women can propel and enhance the development of Nigeria, be it economical and otherwise. Gender equality and equity is the way to go. I therefore rise to actually support and second this bill for second reading. I so second. Thank you.
So no behind, not you, doctor, you behind. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I rise this morning first to commend the mover of this motion,
mover of this bill, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this bill is a very sensitive one. Mr. Speaker, we believe in equality. We believe in giving women their rights and their rightful place. While other people are advocating for 35 affirmative action for women, we believe that women should be given equal rights at every given point or opportunity, whether for electoral position or appointive position in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, we are at a point in this country where the people, our constituent Nigerians, are calling that we should cut down on the size of governance. And here we are talking about creating more opportunity, because we need to discuss this bill extensively. If we are giving opportunity to women, our wives, our mothers, our sisters, are we now going to now take the opportunity of the rights of men, or are we going to create extra seats adding to the 360 constituency in Nigeria, or the 109 senatorial zones in Nigeria, as well as the state constituencies at the State House of Assembly? These are issues that we need to look at. Mr. Speaker, my position today is that government should look inward, and this parliament should support the government to making sure that the women are given equal rights and free rights of participating in an election and given equal opportunity. But saying that seats should be created specially for women is as good as saying that we should now begin to disenfranchise other male counterparts. Thank you. This is my position, Mr. Speaker.
This microphone has been frustrating today. House services, do something about this.
Hello.
Kelechi, off your mic.
My privilege.
Please, off your mic. Please, let's wait for it to come out.
Hello.
We'll endure this for the next 28 minutes and we'll go. The microphone is not even encouraging us to continue. Please sit down. Please. Sit.
Huh?
Please sit down.
Okay.
Spokesperson of the House.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Akitunde Rotimi Jr., representing the good people of Ekiti North 1 Federal Constituency, which comprises Kole and Oye local government. Mr. Speaker, I rise to comment on this bill in support. And I believe that, in this House, in this chamber, we have barely 14 members out of 360. In the Senate, we have only 4 members, 4 senators out of 109. Those numbers are abysmal. I think that there's a broad consensus, even outside of this chamber, that we need to do something about, gender equality and, diversity within, not only in the National Assembly, but in all political positions. But the issue of the how might be the question. And I want to appeal to this House that we allow for this bill to pass so that all those other issues, all those other concerns that you have can be addressed, within the public hearing and other avenues that we would have for other members of the public and stakeholders to be able to contribute meaningfully. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe that there's a broad consensus on the need for it, on the what of it. I believe, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that there is a broad consensus around the fact that it is necessary about the what. The issue of the how can be addressed during public hearing on this bill, to have other stakeholders to be able to put heads together on how exactly we can be able to achieve this without unintended consequences of disenfranchising other people. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Doctor, it's your time now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, I'm Dr. Gali Mustapha Tijani Al-Basu Gayajing Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Kano State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this bill actually is undemocratic. Mr. Speaker, we came here based on democratics and based on popularity. And there is no human right or equality than democracy, than allowing every person, be it woman or man, to go and showcase his popularity in his own constituency. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, doing so, as accepting this bill, is against democratic principle and is undermining the fundamental human right of those ones that are popular in their own constituencies, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I am telling you this should be rejected, but I can support women if there is a political positions, appointed, non-elected positions. That's understandable. And if we continue doing so, we are also undermining the political parties. The political parties should decide whether women should contest in their own platform or not. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this should totally be rejected. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, the doctor. I like the muzzle with which you speak. Let us hear. A lot of people want to contribute to this. The chairman of the youth, you've not spoken for some time. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Be careful what you say here because your wife and your sisters are waiting for you at home.
My name is Olamijuwonlo Ayodeji Alawakala. I represent the good people of Motion North, South, and Rural constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from the President State, or your state. Mr. Speaker, this bill is a very sensitive bill. It's a bill, like you've said, that can affect us in different ways. We will speak about it, or against it, or for it. But we need to also look at the integrity of this bill, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this bill speaks generally on equality. Equality, Mr. Speaker. All of us came here on the free, fair playing platform. Nobody came here on because you're a man. We came here because we struggled to come here. Mr. Speaker, each of these our political parties, some give women their forms for free. Some give the women their form for half the price already. So, Mr. Speaker, if you are saying we should create extra seats here, that is going against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that fights for equality. I think we should argue this properly and know what we're talking about. Is it for electoral positions or is it for selective political positions? For electoral positions, Mr. Speaker, it's very difficult to say we should just create extra seats for them in the House. Why should we create extra for men also in the House? Because it's very sensitive, Mr. Speaker. I think we should choose a day to speak about it and understand what we really want out of this bill. Not just pass it like just like that because you are here today, sir. Please let us pick a day because it's very sensitive. Whatever we do here today, our constituents and the world is watching because the world is based on this gender equality basis. So would you please be careful of what we're doing here today and make sure that we scrutinize this bill and choose a special day for it where we can sit down and argue it properly and come out with a very good document that will support all our arguments. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I also want to use the opportunity to say that, Mr. Speaker, you've been a pillar of knowledge for some of us in this House. My 1 year so far in this House, Mr. Speaker, you've always and never undermined me as a first-timer and as a youth. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. I wish the microphone would allow us to.
Mr. Speaker.
Hello.
Thank you for that. Those kind words. The chairman of the youth in, in Parliament, at least some of you recognize how we have tried to support you. That is very comforting. Let me give you the floor to another new member. It's the new members' day today. So, Patrick Umar, PhD, over to you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Dr. Patrick Umar. I represent the entire people of Ikorekpene, Esienudim, Obodokara Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make the following comments as it relates to this bill that has been presented before this House. Mr. Speaker, sir, we may sound very emotional about this bill, but the reality is that when a bill is being considered before the House of Representatives, it must accord with the principles as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the law is that any law that is inconsistent to the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is to the extent of its inconsistency void. Mr. Speaker, if we make any attempt to make laws or any law that segregates in terms of gender, in terms of race, then we are in trouble. That law becomes inconsistent with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My position, sir, is that we support equality of every individual, of every citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but that we should oppose any law that challenges any provision of the Constitution. The Constitution is clear in terms of equality as it relates to gender, as it relates to race, and as it relates to religion. And on issues of law, emotions or sentiments must be played down. Mr. Speaker, I stand here as a responsible Nigerian who is married to a woman, and I know I love my wife. I stand here as a Nigerian who has children, amongst whom are females. But then we must play down these sentiments. We may be excited about the law today, but we must look at posterity. We must look at the ground norm of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the Constitution. And the Constitution frowns at race, sex, or religion. Mr. Speaker, as I speak, I do not know of any law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that stops a woman from contesting election or winning a seat in the House of Representatives. I do not know of any law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that stops a woman from attaining any position.
Okay, our 2 p.m. is around the corner. Round up.
So, Your Excellency, with respect, as much as we will emphasize equality of men and women, which is positive in support of women, we should not allocate seats specifically to any sex, whether male or female. That's my position, sir. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Honorable Jaha. The new members have been speaking 90% of the time. Are you intimidating the old members? No, I'll come back to you, Asawaro, now. I'll come back to you.
I'm a Jahababa Chibok Dambo Federal Constituency. Honorable Billy Asawaro, there is no new member in the House. We are all members of the House.
No new member, no old member, yes.
No new member. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want to commend you for another additional co-sponsors of about 12 in supporting this bill to be read the second time and be referred to the appropriate committee for justice. Mr. Speaker, democracy emanated from ancient Greek city-state, and it was derived from the two ancient Greek city-states word, demos and kratia. Demos meaning people, kratia signifying rule of or by the people. In the small ancient Greek city-state then, people gather in a marketplace on market days, regardless of their gender, regardless of their age, regardless of their complexion, and discuss the affairs of their community. And the resolution reached in that particular sitting is what is going to be implemented before the following market day. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I want members to understand that any bill being presented before this House has a procedure. The first procedure is for the bill to be read the first time by the clerk of the House of Representatives. Then the bill is going to be represented to be read the second time and be subjected to discussions, debates, contributions, either negative or positive for the bill before it's being referred to an appropriate committee to do the justice as far as the bill is concerned. Members have the opportunity, two opportunities, to either vote or against, for or against the bill in two places. One, in the public hearing domain, where members of the public, experts, specialists, resource persons across the world will be invited to make their submission and answer the question of how to create that particular seat or to create that particular constituency for women. People should understand that not all positions should be elective. We have House of Commons, we have House of Lords. It's a typical example of House of Lords. You have members that are non-elective members. So experts can tell us the how to create that, so that if we are convinced as members of the parliament, we can go for it. If we are not convinced, we have another privilege that is only for 360 members to either vote for or against the bill when the bill is going to be considered in a committee of the whole. And in that day, it's not going to be a voice in conclusion. Yes.
Thank you.
No, I'm not a director on it.
You are protected, but round up.
Yes, what I'm trying to say, on that day, it's not going to be business as usual, where members will be requested to vote by their own voices. It's going to be an electronic voice where each vote will be counted. Constitutional consideration of reports is not by voice voting. It's by electronic voting, where if you are to vote aye, you vote aye. If you are to vote nay, you vote nay, and it's going to be recorded and displayed automatically on the screen for members to know the count. And from there, the table or the chair can report progress. So I don't want us to throw a baby with the bathwater for now. Why can't you allow this bill to go to the public? Members of the public make their contribution, and we still have the opportunity to equally make our contribution during public hearing and submit a position paper. So I call on our colleagues to understand we still have a procedure. We shouldn't throw a baby along with the bathwater. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Chike, before you, let's hear from Osaworo, please.
Thank you, my able speaker.
We'll be running up with this bill or one more, and then we'll close, please.
My distinguished honorable members, there's no better person to talk about this bill than Honorable Chief Dr. Billy Famous Adesuwa Osaworo, because Chief Billy Osaworo was stepped down twice for a woman. Chief Billy Osaworo moved a motion on this floor for a 35% affirmative action for women. My honorable members, we have to be very careful. It is very easy for us to get up here and with the sentiments
jump on the bandwagons, look good on TV, but again, we need to understand exactly what we are getting into. Because once this is done, it will be very difficult to be undone. Mr. Speaker, yes, it's a very nice bill, but the details of it, the devil is always in the detail. I think it would be nice for us as a house to look more into the details of this bill. Because if, for example, we want to talk about giving elective offices and you are not setting aside some of those seats for women, one, we are going against the Constitution, number one. Number two, I'm not sure there are too many men on the floor of this house today that will volunteer willingly for their seats to be given to women in the 11th Assembly. I'm not sure Mr. Deputy Speaker will allow us to set aside the seat of the Deputy Speaker for women going forward. So again, we must be very careful. In as much as we want our women to participate, as we speak today, I know a lot of parties, women they don't pay to take forms. That's already against men, but we are okay. I know women are more in Nigeria than men. How come the men still win elections? So, Mr. Speaker, if we must do this, we must look for better ways to get our women to participate, to run the race and win. But if we think, because we want to look good on TV and start this kind of process that we know going forward is going to be detrimental to the men folk, I don't think we should be discussing this at this moment. It's a very good bill, but I would suggest for us to go back and fine-tune the details in the way we want to set seats aside for our women. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Dr. Chike.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Very distinguished colleagues, my names are Chike John Okafor, PhD. I represent the good people of a member, Ihitu Boma, Obo Federal Constituency. I'm from Imo State. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Jaha Ahmad Usman almost captured the plea I wanted to make. So there's no point going back to all the points he had already made. And that is the fact, the summary is the fact that this is a process. And we are only exercising the second part of presentation of bill, which is the second reading. But I'd like to plead that we all set aside any form of traditional beliefs that probably doesn't permit or allow the opposite sex to get to some levels, politically or otherwise. Let us also consider the fact that the issue of gender equality and representation lies at the heart of our constitutional democracy. The second and last point I want to make to us is the fact that let us be emotional about this or swayed by the fact that the chief sponsor of this bill, Benjamin Okeze-Kalu, is presiding as we speak. I don't know whether it's by omission or commission, accident or design, but I'd like to ask that we respect that fact to the extent that let us allow this bill to be read or pass a second reading. There are other opportunities we will have to vent our emotions, to vent our resistance, and to vent our position against or for. That's my only plea, that the chief sponsor is presiding. Let us respect that fact. Thank you.
Let's hear from you, Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. Kingsley Chinda. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to support this bill. And in supporting this bill, my first consideration is to ask what our function is. We're here to solve problems of our country through legislation. And so the other question is whether we have any deficiency in female representation. And I'm sure that the answer is clear. The answer is yes. Nigeria as a country is deficient if it comes to female representation. In fact, as I sat here, I went through countries in Africa and where we rank as a country in line with female representation. I want to tell you that Nigeria is the least country in Africa today if it comes to female representation. I can give you the figures as it is. And so if that is the case, it then means that as a parliament, we must take deliberate steps to ensure that we remove our country from that ranking. Nigeria is first from the bottom. From what we have, Rwanda is 61.25% female representation in her parliament. Senegal is 46%. South Africa is 45%. Namibia is 44%. Mozambique is 43%. Cape Verde is 41%. Ethiopia is 41%. Burundi is 38%. United Republic of Tanzania is 37%. Cameroon 33%. Uganda 33%. Angola 33%. South Sudan 32%. Equatorial Guinea 31%. Niger 30%. Zimbabwe 30, Guinea 29, Mali 28, Sierra Leone 28, Benin 26, Lesotho 26, Djibouti 26, Chad 25, Kenya 23, Seychelles 22, Malawi 20, Mauritius 20, Togo 19, Somalia 19, Madagascar 18, Burkina Faso 16, Zambia 14, right down. The last country is Nigeria at 3.91%. And so as parliamentarians, this is not a report that we should sleep over. I think that we must make deliberate effort. And if it is to provide special seat for women, yes, we can do that. But we'll look at our special circumstance. We'll look at our religion, we'll look at our tradition, and our belief in doing this. But we do not live as an island. We live in a global community. And so in the Committee of Nations, when we talk about inclusivity, how are we going to be looked at? And so the thing we need to work out, to me, is what do we do? There must be a sunset clause. It's not going to be an open-ended law. We must have a time frame to encourage the women in our country to meet up with the speed in other countries. And then aside that, we're talking about the second reading, whether this should pass for the second reading. A lot of our colleagues have suggested. We have experts. When we go to the public hearing, there are experts that will help us to fine-tune it. But whether we should allow this pass for second reading, I will plead with us that it is necessary that we make efforts to solve problems where we see them, and then allow the experts to fine-tune it, telling them that, yes, while we want the women to catch up, it is just an encouragement. And perhaps a sunset clause will help us. If this will happen within a period of 10 years, or 2 terms, or 3 terms, or 4 terms, and thereafter we'll fall back to normalcy. And to discuss the issue of constitutionality or otherwise, an amendment of constitution cannot be in conflict with the constitution. This is a constitutional amendment. When it gets to that stage, it becomes part of the constitution if it has passed, and if it is passed into law. And so it will not be in conflict with the constitution. But for me, I think that as a parliament, we should look at the problems of our country and provide legislative solutions to the problems of our country. Women representation, representation for physically challenged persons are things that we need to look at and work outside the box to correct them. So I will plead urge us to support this bill for second reading and allow the professionals to do their work. Let it be that the parliament has actually done her job. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank
you,
you
my dear
very
colleagues.
much. This has generated a lot of debate.
Contribution, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kelechi, let's hear you. You've been raising your hand.
Yes, thank you.
We are rounding up.
The Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Kelechi Nwugu. Right, Honorable Speaker, I represent the women and men of Echie Omuma constituency. My Speaker, let me commend you for this bill. Your mother will be proud of you. Your wife will be proud of you. Let me start with Rivers State, Mr. Speaker. 2015, the then governor insisted that the whole local government must have vice chairman as women. Right now, Mr. Speaker, as I speak to you now, if you go to Rivers State, you have women as vice chairman in all the local government. Let us toll with that. Today, you have a deputy governor as a woman in Rivers State. You had that the previous governor, he had it, a woman as a deputy governor. What is wrong in giving women opportunity? Right now, Mr. Speaker, I will even plead that I thought my colleague would say, let us extend it, that every deputy governor should be women. I will agree to that, Mr. Speaker. That is what is expected. I cannot stand here and tell you that we should not give women opportunity to participate in election. Let's give them a better opportunity. Right, Mr. Speaker, every one of us here who have beautiful wives and children at home, you want to see them here to speak and represent Nigeria. How will you feel today that you go back home and your son, your wife, your daughter don't have opportunity to speak in Nigeria and make laws? Right, Mr. Speaker, I have seen the reason why when you stand up, you say you represent the people of Nigeria. Starting from Bende, you represent all Nigerians. You have shown that. I want to plead with my colleague. There is nothing wrong in giving women opportunity to participate in an election, a better opportunity. I say yes to this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Little contribution. Because we are rounding up here with general consensus of the leadership, I think this has generated enough steam.
Mr. Speaker.
And the predicament I have is that
I'll be raising up my
I am the one who sponsored the bill, and I'm the one presiding. And you know,
you step it down.
And you see, there is no how this gavel will go today, and I will not be seen as biased. There is no how it will go, and I will not be seen as biased. I wish that I was not the one presiding today. You know, so that is a predicament I have. But as you know, this is a process. It's not the final gavel on it today. We had it in Ninth Assembly. It passed through second reading. Public hearing was hard because Nigerians want you to harvest their opinion. That's the truth. Yeah, we speak for them, but issues like this, they want to bring the ideas on how to go about it so that you have a better understanding of the bill. So, on the basis of that, I think this bill should be stepped down. It's not being stepped down because of the merit of it, but because I'm conflicted. I'm the sponsor of this bill. I will want it to go ahead, but it will not look good. It will seem as if there's a conflict of interest. So I will ask Ghana on behalf of the chair to step this bill down until the day that I'm not presiding. That way we'll have justice seem to be done, not just being done. I think it's the fair thing.
Point of order.
Yes, what's your point of order? What is your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My order is that you have given enough room to the members to
Privilege. Order 5, matter of privilege.
You are protected.
Privilege.
You are protected.
Privilege. So therefore, Mr. Speaker,
honorable colleagues, there have been several times that I protected you. So let this be word of the protection, let his voice be heard. I plead with you, please. Honorable Satoli, please go on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thanks for the protection. I'm coming under Order 1, Rule 2 to also inform our distinguished colleagues that as you chair and you have given room for a wider debate, and the entire nation and particularly our women brethren are looking up to you. Despite you are the sponsor of the bill, I see nothing wrong in you putting the question so that I think you will do justice for those that debated eloquently to say their mind and to express, and then to save time, especially for those of us that have contested with several women in several elections. Thank you, Vance.
Yes, leader, let me hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My very respected honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Ali Sajesi, PhD. Mr. Speaker, I believe we have discussed a lot about this bill, and the bill is going for public hearing, even if it is passed for second reading. So there is a room during the public hearing for public opinion. You are not passing the bill itself. You are not considering report, Mr. Speaker. You are talking about the bill. And also, we have to also look at the precedent. If you do that, that means all future or other bills or motions that the presiding officers are related will not be taken by this leadership. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you for the robust debate. I really appreciate it. This bill is referred to the committee.
Where did this
Please read the long title, please, Clark.
Which order? Order what? Order what now?
Right, Honorable Speaker,
Order what?
honorable members. A bill for an
No,
act to
not
alter
that
the
one.
Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and for related
Not
matters,
that one,
second reading.
Where?
The bill is referred to Committee on Constitution Review. The eighth order of the day is commencement of debate on general principle of the bill for an act to establish National Institute of Educational Planning Administration on this city. This bill, you will recall, was transmitted by the Senate seeking concurrence. Leader, please move the bill. Move that the bill be now read the second time.
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Sionvere, I rise to move that a bill for an act to establish National Institute for Educational Planning and Administration of Ondo City, Ondo State, and for related matters, SB 40, be read the second time.
Thank you. Minority Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion as moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be read the second time. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, please read the long title of the bill.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to establish National Institute for Educational Planning and Administration, Ondo City, Ondo State, and for related matters, second reading.
Honorable colleagues, this bill is referred to Committee of the Whole. The ninth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish gifted and talented centers in the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. This is standing in the name of Honorable Rotimi. Honorable Rotimi is invited to move that the bill be now read the second time. Please make it very brief.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Akitunde Rotimi Jr. representing the good people of Ekiti North 1 Federal Constituency, comprising the Ikole and Oyo local governments. Mr. Speaker, I hereby move that the bill for an act to establish gifted and talented centers in the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria for related matters be read a second time.
Thank you. Any seconder to this motion? Yes.
Can you imagine?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Adam Mutanko is my name, and I am speaking for the people of Sulaja, Gurara, and Tafu Federal Constituency. I'm from Niger State. I rise to second the motion as ably moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Please move. Make it 2 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I will very, very quickly lead the debate. Mr. Speaker, there is an existing school for gifted and talented that has existed for over 25 years. This model has proven that it is very crucial in nurturing talent of young people that are exceptionally gifted, people that our country will depend on for the innovations for the future. Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks that we should give formal recognition, legal recognition to the Gifted and Talented Center currently existing in Suleja, and also at the same time establishing 5 other parts of the country so that we have the Gifted and Talented Center in all 6 geopolitical regions. Mr. Speaker, this bill has examples. We have comparative examples in other jurisdictions in the US and Singapore and other places where this has been successful. Mr. Speaker, this bill has 15 sections that outline administration.
Okay, round up.
Allow this bill to be read for a second time, and then other issues around how we go about it can be resolved in the public hearing. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. I think it's a straightforward bill. I just put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The bill is referred to Committee on Basic Education and Services. The 10th order of the day is please, clerk. No, we are rushing for time. Bring the log title
Right,
of the
Honorable
bill.
Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish gifted and talented centers in the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill is referred to Committee on Basic Education and Services. The 10th order of the day is the commencement of the debate on the general principle of the bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act 2022 to establish the Federal Medical Center, Malam, Maduri, and the related matter. It is in the name of Honorable Maki. Honorable Maki is invited to move that the bill be now read the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues.
This will be the last bill of the day. Other motions will be suspended.
I am Abubakar Maki Eleman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Malamudori Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Center Act 2022 to establish the Federal Medical Center Malamaduri and for related matters HB 1501 be read for the second time.
Thank you very much. I want you to you've been raising your hand for a very long time. Yes. Not you, Philip.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, my name is Honorable Barrister Rabi Yusuf, representing the good people of Take Sumaila Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State. I second the motion be moved, just moved by Mr. L. Lehman. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Yelema, I think this is an infrastructure establishment bill. It's straight to the point. Let me just put the question. Unless you have anything to say. 1 minute.
Okay, sir. This is a very straightforward.
Amo Bioga, take your seat. We are rounding up. Kelechi Mwago, take your seat. Kelechi Mwago, take your seat.
A new Federal Medical Center in Malamudori, Jigawa State. The medical center, when established, will have a profound impact on the lives of millions of Nigerians. Mr. Speaker, Malamudori is a center out of 27 local governments. Almost 5 federal constituencies surrounded that place. And we have only 1 federal medical center in Kudu. So when this Malamudori Federal Medical Center been approved, it will help Briniwa, Megatari, Taura, Mega, Auyo, and Kafin Hausa. So before, Mr. Speaker, all these 5 federal constituencies are moving up to Yobe State.
Okay, round up.
To look for that medical assistance. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, in view of our commitments to provide our constituents with access to qualified health centers.
Honorable Maki, you have convinced us.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I urge my colleagues
We are
give me permission
convinced.
to see that at least this bill was read for the second time.
Those in support of the bill say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, please read the long title of the bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act 2022 to establish the Federal Medical Center Malamaduri and for related matters, second reading.
The bill is referred to Committee on Health Institution. The 11th order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of the bill for an act to amend the Federal Colleges of Education Act, CAP F8 Laws of Federation of Nigeria to provide for establishment of Federal College of Education in Faskari, Katsina State, standing in the name of Dahatu Shehu. Honorable Dahatu is invited to move that the bill be read the second time. Is he around?
Yes, sir. Right Honorable Speaker, sir, very distinguished colleagues, I remain Honorable Engineer Shehu Dalhatu Tafoki, member representing Paskari, Kankara Sabwa, and from Katsina State. Mr. Speaker, I move a bill for an act to amend the Federal Colleges of Education Act, CAF, F8 Laws of Federation.
Honorable members will leave here at 2:30, please.
210 to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Education, Technical Faskari, Katsina State, and for related matters, HB 14.
Thank you. Any seconder? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my dear respected colleagues. My name is Salis Yusuf Majigiri. I represent Mashidu Zifere constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Katsina State. I rise to support the motion for the second reading of a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Education Paskari in Katsina State. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. It's straightforward again. It has to do with the establishment of institution. I just put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, the long title of the bill.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Federal Colleges of Education Act, CAF F8 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Education Technical Faskari, Katsina State, and for related matters. Second reading.
This bill is referred to Committee on Federal Colleges of Education. We'll only take one motion, and please, Chairman, Rules and Business, because of our time, kindly move the other ones from tomorrow. And we apologize to others. So the microphone did not allow us to meet up with our time. I hope you bear with us. Please, this motion, you just the title and the prayers. Honorable, the 12th order of the day is a motion on the need to improve Nigerian roads to enhance security, ease traffic, and curb accidents caused by wrong use of walkways. Standing in the name of Honorable Emmanuel Okpong Odo. Honorable Okpong is invited to move the motion, the title and the prayers as agreed.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Okpong Odo. I'm from Akwa Ibom State. I represent Ikono and in the federal constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to move the motion on the need to improve Nigerian roads to enhance security, ease traffic, and curb accidents caused by wrong use of walkways. So because of time, I move straight to the resolves and the resolutions. That the federal government be urged to provide more security on Nigerian roads. Number two, also urge the Federal Road Safety Commission to enforce parking laws and ensure usage of walkways and pedestrian bridges. Mandate the Committee on Land Transport to investigate the challenges and provide permanent solutions to these challenges and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. The Speaker, I so move.
Thank you very much for sticking to our agreement. That was succinctly put. Any seconder to this motion? Can I, Annie Okonkwo Jr.?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. My name is Uchenna Harris Okonkwo, speaking for the wonderful people of the Plenary North and South Federal Constituency in Anambra State. I rise to second this motion ably moved by Honorable Dr. Emmanuel Wong. I so second.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Land Transport. Please, Deputy Leader, move that the House do adjourn to tomorrow, same time, same place.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. Once again, Abdullah Ibrahim Halips is my name. I am from Kogi State. I represent the wonderful people of Ankpa, Omala, Federal Constituency. Having exhausted our deliberation for today, I hereby move the House to adjourn to tomorrow, Wednesday, the 10th day of July, same time, same venue. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much. Minority Leader, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion for adjournment. I so second.
Thank you very much. Let me thank you for staying true all till this time, even though the microphone gave us some headache. Well, we believe that House Services will sort it out by tomorrow or so. We really appreciate your patience and your cooperation and the robust debate we have had in this House. That is the beauty of Parliament. A various perspective to an issue. It was very refreshing section. And I just put the question, those in support that the House do adjourn till tomorrow, same time, same place, say aye. Those against say nay. The nays will stay and the ayes will go. See you tomorrow. The House is hereby adjourned till tomorrow, same time, same place.